I am not kidding, is the most punchable face in the history of the world. That right there.
Rugby Wrap-Up brought to you in part by Sheehy Auto Stores. It's easy at Sheehy. The Pig and Whistle, the world's best rugby pub. And Lean and Limber, stretching your way to a healthier lifestyle. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to The Rugby Odds, starring former WWE champion John Bradshaw Layfield, God's gift to rugby, Gift Egbelu of the Gift Time Rugby Network, and featured guest, Winnie The Pooh.
Oh, bother.
Hey, what a crazy week, huh? Great rugby, controversy, all that kind of jazz. And we've got John Bradshaw Layfield, the WWE legend, and Gift Egbelu, rugby's gift to mankind, a.k.a. the King, in the green room doing what they do, which is not a lot, other than just not hurting themselves without the assistance of a padded suit. But I'm going to take a quick look back before we bring them in and predict what's going to happen. New York went into New England needing an Atlanta loss or a basic win while they got a bonus point win. Both the Free Jacks and New York played creative lineups, though, before a great crowd in a great venue. New York held on to win 21-14, keeping the Flapjackals from sweeping the season series. New England did not cover the 3-point spread. In Atlanta's Snake Pit, the NOLA Gold were in it for a while, but some ill-disciplined play and another big second half by Rugby ATL saw the home team get a 5-point bonus point win, secure a home playoff game, and cover the 8-point spread 45-19. The Sabercats clawed the Gilgronis for a bit, but eventually succumbed to penalties, and Bryce Campbell and co in the back line. Austin covered the 6-point spread in the process. At Choctaw Stadium in Dallas, the Jackals looked like they might get that elusive first win as the score was but 7-5, 51-plus minutes in. But the Warriors and Battle Ram Paul Lasike poured it in from there and won comfortably, 33-5. And Utah did not cover the 30-point spread as they missed a conversion at death, sending John Bradshaw Layfield into a thumb-sucking fetal position for 2 days. In Canada, Toronto wanted to send off their faithful fans with a victory over Old Glory and looked to be on target. But Renata Roberts-Tanata played a big part in a big upset as DC snapped arrow after arrow and ultimately won 50-35. Toronto did not cover the 7-point spread. Finally, the Seattle Seawolves faced a monumental must-win situation in LA, and the Giltinis were looking to hold home field advantage over ATL and New York should it come to that. The Giltinis, though, dried up in the second half, and Seattle fans were seen two-stepping in Tukwila as the Sea Wave flooded the Coliseum with Seawolf points 37-25. LA did not cover the 7-point spread. Okay, let's take a quick break, and then we'll bring in John Bradshaw Layfield and Gift Egbelu.
Need a great price on a new vehicle? Sheehy makes it easy. Easy Price shows you our lowest prices on the Mid-Atlantic's largest selection. Find your best price online or at any of our 31 dealerships.
It's easy at Sheehy. Sheehy.com.
If you're in New York City and want to watch some great rugby, have some great food, and some great times, go to the world's best rugby pub, the Pig and Whistle on West 36th Street. And let's bring in John Bradshaw Layfield and Gift Egbelu. John, of course, is the WWE legend, and Gift is rugby's gift to mankind, and a.k.a. the King. John is telling me that I'm number one in his loving.
No, I'm not. I'm telling you to f*** off.
Is that because you're one of those cheating Texans? Is that why?
Because this stuff with Texas is wrong, all right? Texas had never cheated. Houston Astros didn't cheat. SMU didn't cheat. No one has ever cheated in the history of Texas.
Roger Clemens, Andy Pettit.
Shut up. All that's happened in Major League Rugby is they're jealous because rugby was invented in the South, in Texas, and the great state of Louisiana. That's where rugby was invented, and they have been persecuting us ever since. So all you rugby guys out there, kiss my
But guys, this hurt you guys with your picks.
No, lies. Because see, that was an issue I wanted to bring up. There was no loss against Austin. A disqualification does not equate to a loss. On the game field, that was won with the points. What happens for playoff contention? Absolutely. They're not able to move forward. At best, what you said is, at best, what we have is simply an inability to make any decision for the playoffs. But in terms of the game in regular season, as by regulation, Austin won. Why? Because they got to play the game. If they were truly disqualified, they would not have been able to play the game. But they did. And hence, Houston lost by the point. You lost. You should be 3-3. I should be 3-3. John should be 5-1. And that is the truth.
Yeah, and put your little Dikembe wannabe finger back in the holster, pal.
Not in my house.
What I've got right here is a championship bear. Look at that. Championship bear. You know why? Because Winnie the Pooh is from Texas.
Amen.
And people say, oh, he cheated. Pooh, that's Pooh right there flipping you off.
That is so wrong on so many different levels. I don't know how you can actually walk down the street without a hood and some big glasses, A, because of your face, but B, because of your behavior. It's important. All right, guys. So now we're back and we have the task of picking these two playoff games, the eliminators, the Eastern Conference eliminator and the Western Conference eliminator.
That's if somebody else doesn't get thrown out of the league by this weekend.
Right, of course.
So did Major League Rugby schedule these two playoff games at exactly the same time?
They did not. They're unfortunately on Saturday night Eastern time. Atlanta hosts New York. The Rattlers, Rugby ATL, laying 4 against New York, who won on the road in New England, John.
Yep, my New England jersey, by the way. I don't know if you saw this, but they sent it to me because I'm friends with all of them. That's right.
But how come you don't wear it? You never wear it.
Because it's built for a person. It's a game jersey, and it's tight. And I'm 55. And when you're 55, you don't wear things that are tight. This game, I believe, is going to be close because of height. He's a great kicker. I think New York has.
If he's healthy,
is he going to be healthy?
We don't know. They're keeping they're under. They got closed fists with the rosters for this week, so we don't know, ladies and gentlemen. So this is going to be one of those ifs, John. If Jack Heighton plays, I think he is.
If Heighton plays, which I feel like he will, I mean, if he can play at all, he's going to be out there. And these are all tough guys. All these rugby guys are tough guys. If he can play, he'll be out there. They need him, definitely. And if he does, it's going to be a very close game. I think it's going to be a pretty close game anyway. However, I feel like New York has kind of played their competition. When they've had to play really well, they have played really well. The stuff they do with the grubber kicks and the kicks and their kicking game, it's just been amazing. I think New York is going to go into the snake pit, and they're going to run Rick Shaw on Atlanta.
Rick Shaw, that segues to you, Gift. Rick Shaw. Yeah.
They're going to boat race them.
They're going to boat race them and mollywop them.
Here's one thing we got to take into consideration. It's June 11th. All right. It's June 11th, middle of the summertime. New York is coming down to Atlanta. All right. Atlanta just came off from their win back in May 22nd in Hoboken, straight mollywhopping. Little brother New York. The last time New York had the chance to be able to win was back in February on a barely win. Look, when I tell you that this is going to be one of those games where there's a deeply seated rivalry of playoff, because again, Atlanta had to go through at New York last year. But they have to go up. Atlanta's about to defend this house. The Rattlers about to bite. There's going to be some stings. There's going to be venom. Like, this is going to be a big game. And I don't know if New York is going to be able to deal with the sweaty, hot, disgusting humidity that's about to come out of Atlanta on top of the level of firepower that Atlanta is going to have, especially because I think they still want to prove the point that they can still be championship contenders without Scott Lawrence. So look at Atlanta to not just get the points, but also get the win on this one.
A little added incentive, you're saying.
Got to continue. The mission continues.
All right. Well,
listen, stop right there. Just play any segment that you've said about New York for the past 3 years. Right? Any segment, because all you're going to do, you're going to pretend like you're trying to think about it, and you're going to go with New York. Go ahead, go with New York.
This is fake news, fake rugby news, fake Layfield news.
He's about to say, I'm going to go with Atlanta to lose.
No,
because
I'm not going to do that. I'm going to pick whom I think is going to win. And as we have indicated, I have the best record out of the three of us this season. And
off of a technicality that wasn't supposed to exist.
Again, they just reaffirmed that is the ruling. That is the ruling. And John gets the wooden spoon again this week, and the bigger wooden spoon for the season. Congratulations, John.
Go ahead. Climb up Steve Lewis's butt. Go ahead. Do it. Go ahead. Look at me. I'm a turtle. I'm in Steve Lewis's butt.
Okay, you know what? We could be sophomoric about this, or we can be adults and continue the
We're
show.
not. No. We're more juvenile than sophomoric. This is like 7th, 8th grade.
Try to make some people some money. They're betting their hard-earned cash on what we actually say here
every week. You're not trying to make people money. You're trying to ingratiate yourself to Stephen Lewis.
Well, when the team is, got double-digit wins on the season, it would indicate that they're doing
Atlanta
something
has
right.
double-digit wins too. And a higher seed placement.
Here's the thing. If you would stop interrupting me, this could be deja vu all over again in Atlanta, because if you remember last year, it was
deja vu with your comments all over again, Yogi Berra.
A 1-point win, deja vu all over again. Thank you, Yogi, and thank you, Gift, because you are rugby's Yogi Berra. But 1-point win last year with New York having to play that whole game with a backup fly half. And it was a 1-point loss, 8-7 in Atlanta. This could very well be an exact duplicate of that match, because New York might have to have Andy Ellis starting if Jack Heighton is not available. But if Jack Heighton's available, that's a whole different animal. So I'm doing this with the caveat. 4 points is a lot of points in this match. I think it's going to be a close match. I think New York covers. Atlanta may win. Atlanta may win. But I think New York covers this spread, and that's what this show is about. God damn it.
So you're picking New York.
You're picking New York.
I'm picking with the spread. I don't know what else I'm supposed to do here. Am I supposed to ignore the math? Am I supposed to ignore the history? Am I supposed to ignore the intangibles?
The last game was 38. Last game was 38-3 Atlanta's favor.
That was an anomaly. It was an aberration. Guys were sick. They were sad. They had a lot on their minds.
They were sad.
They were very sad.
What were they sad about?
They were sad about a lot. They were sad about losing 38-3 at home.
Were you sad when your dog ran off from you because your dog hates you?
Joe Basser's parents and Sam Windsor's parents had come in from Australia to witness that debacle. And I blamed them on the air. I said that the Australian parents jinx. And it was. They're not allowed to go to Atlanta. No, Papa, Mama Windsor, no, Papa, Mama Basser. You're not going to the match. So New York might win this one, but I think they'll definitely cover that 4-point spread. Is that so wrong? No.
Hey, look at me. I'm in Steve Lewis's butt.
Right.
Look at me.
Gift, don't stoop to his level, Gift. You're a king.
Every king's got to appreciate whenever you got the best Hall of Famer on the side. You follow greatness.
He's the people's king. Like The Rock was the people's champion, King Egbelu is the people's king.
All right, we're going to follow greatness right after this commercial break.
Been blind since I was 4. And I've never seen a beer commercial or a beer label. None of that stuff influences me. I drink beer because of the taste. And my beer's Pabst Blue Ribbon. It has the taste and the flavor.
What do you think's on the label?
I think there's a naked woman riding on a unicorn, jumping over fire. Oh, that's good beer.
players and coaches, our quality and heritage make for a winning presentation. Your orders are guaranteed same-day shipping. Drop by our online store and follow us for exclusive content. RugbyNow.com.
In the Western Conference, because of all the kerfuffle we got going on, guys, we got LA.
It ain't kerfuffle. People got caught cheating is what it is. And they got thrown out right before the playoffs. I'm begging them to figure this out sometime halfway through the season.
John, this is all alleged, John. We don't have any proof in front of us on paper, so let's just go by what.
Wait a minute. They kicked them out of the playoffs? It seems to be a little more than alleged.
Okay, but we don't know what the violations were. It was just a statement issued by the league. And our job.
I'll tell you what the violations were. I found this right here. In the Giltinis locker room. They're handing out money like lifesavers.
Again, that's alleged. We don't have any definitive proof that is true.
Alleged. I found this in the locker room.
He's kidding, of course, ladies and gentlemen, as I perspire here. All right, so in that Western Conference, because of the kerfuffle thing that John doesn't seem to like, Houston is now the Western Conference leaders. So they get the bye week, and they'll be hosting the winner of Seattle versus San Diego. San Diego, who's coming off their beach parties of 2 weeks to find out that they're playing again. And Seattle, who's really banged up after that unbelievable victory in Los Angeles at the Coliseum with basically a mash unit on the field. So with that, we have Seattle -3, John.
This is going to be the home field advantage. The best ever in the history of this league is going to be this weekend in that Death Star black hole Starfire Stadium. So as good as Joe Peterson is, and he is a stud, I'm going with what I think is the better coach team and home field advantage. I am going with Seattle to roll them boys.
Wow. All right. And you're saying this is better home field advantage than San Diego had at their home stadium in San Diego for the final, and LA had at the Coliseum in their final victory.
Yes, because of the crowd. You had what, 10 people in an 80,000 capacity stadium?
Again, it's alleged
Coliseum.
Alleged mathematics on the part of JBL. We unequivocally and
this
categorically
stadium is going to be full and rocking. People in Seattle love this rugby team. It's going to be a great home field advantage.
All right. Okay.
No way San Diego and LA competes with them for home field advantage. No possible way.
King, please, King, shed some light on this. The green cauliflower people hosting the match, and San Diego thought they were on the beach for good.
Let me just say this up front and first. This is going to be by far the worst 3 games of playoffs that you had. These are going to be the least entertaining game. Why? Because we have the perception that we are not getting the best teams. We already have the perception that these teams have come in. Basically, this is like the replacements. All right. This is like the replacements coming in for the playoffs.
We're going to take those people and try to put together a winning team. Nothing else. They should be fun to watch.
They are already shut down. They shut their bodies down to come and rise back in. Like they're half-assing it at this point. So I have the lowest of expectations for Houston, which I will consider at this point. I've looked for Houston. I love them, but they're going to be the worst number 1 seed in the 4 years of these MLR games. And the second and third seed, it's not. So that being said, I want to put that out there. I actually put this on San Diego. I think that injuries, Seattle is going to have the better crowd because those guys, like everybody who is in Seattle, has been so hyped since they got in under the technicality of
they drink
Austin
a lot of coffee.
Out.
Lots of coffee.
Exactly. Sure, why not? But I'd say more broccoli. But it's more of that. They just been nutritioned up for it. But the team itself, I think they put all on the line against LA to end out that LA, run to be like, hey, we might not get in, but we LA, who really wasn't even trying to win on that game. Whereas you have the San Diego team, who I don't have the highest respect for San Diego as a competitive team because they always tend to underwhelm, but they are healthy. In all honesty, they're healthy. They're going to go up healthy. They might have been partying, if you want to say allegedly, even though we all know that they have been, and enjoying themselves the hell out. And they're rested and relaxed. They're going to be out of shape. They're going to suck for the first half, and then they're going to come in because injuries suck in the playoffs. The Seattle movie story ended the moment that LA got knocked out.
Whoa.
So now it's going to be, hey, who's going to be the fastest to the bottom? Look, I give this one San Diego. Come up from that boring ass town to go up into the other boring ass town to be able to enjoy some Sunfire Stadium crowds and, cheer it up.
So you're taking Seattle.
Battle. This is the battle of the bored ass town.
Well, but Gift, in your diatribe there, I heard some stuff that made sense, and San Diego is healthy-ish as far as we know. They haven't had to play, which could work for them or against them. Seattle, they're banged up, but they're playing at home against in that boring ass town. Maybe that's why that stadium is so exciting, because they got absolutely nothing else going on up there. So they have good beer in that stadium. I'm going Seattle. Seattle, yeah. All right, gentlemen. Final thoughts, John. I know you're pretty passionate about what's going on with the league.
Yeah, it's like the old what is it, Humphrey Bogart? I can't believe there's gambling in the Casablanca.
I'm shocked to find that gambling is going on in here.
I can't believe some players were getting paid underneath the table, and they waited till the playoffs until they bust these teams. Brilliant move.
Well, the argument is, do you do it afterwards, after one of these teams?
No, you do it halfway through the season. You do it early in the season. You find a way to audit these guys. You don't mess up the playoffs. That being said, I think that these playoffs are going to be pretty good. Look, San Diego going into Seattle is going to be a great game. The home field advantage is going to be awesome. It's going to look great on television. And I think the league's going to be just fine with this. But they should have done it earlier in the season.
Rugby is an entertainment sport, all right? It's the key term, entertainment. When you start removing entertainment, it starts to have a problem. Look, whatever it is that happened with LA and Austin, the point was they were two of your most entertaining teams, and you just removed two of your most entertaining products. As an investor, if I was an investor when that time actually comes, I would be very wary, and it makes me very concerned a lot of what is going to be happening moving forward. But that being said, these playoffs should be at least good for the East Coast, and at least it'll bring the championship back to the East Coast, since it has not been on the East Coast in any point in time in the history of MLR. So shout out to Atlanta or New York for finally being able to take over and take this championship that you deserve on the East Coast and make up for what you've been poorly doing during the regular season and not beating West Side teams, because you removed your two toughest West Side teams. Finish this out.
On that note, I want to thank John Bradshaw Layfield, WWE legend, and Johnny Spoons, and Gift Egbelu, Rugby's Gift to Mankind, a.k.a. The King, and thank you for tuning in. Please check out our other shows, including MLR Weekly and our College Rugby Wrap-Up. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube, sign up for our weekly newsletter, and please
shorter clothes.
Join our American Red Cross
Say goodbye.
donor team.